young people to feel like it's not vital to you, to answer or say anything that you feel like is not vital to you, or even if it is vital to you that you feel like you're unsure about. And we feel like we have to respond. We feel like we have to agree. We feel like we have to say yes to something that is out of our comfortability. And so when we talk about suicide, when we talk about mental health, it is so important to understand that if you are ever in a position where you feel uncomfortable in any aspect of your life, you have the option to say no. When you are going through things and you feel like you have nobody to talk to, when you feel like you can't cope, you have the option to ask for help. Firearms accounted for 54.64% of all suicide deaths in 2021. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, suicide is a leading cause of death among young people in the United States. There is an average of 132 suicides per day. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the U.S. 48,183 Americans died by suicide in 2022, according to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. In 2021, there were an estimated of 1.70 million suicide attempts. The rate of suicide is highest in middle-aged white men. Sources state that men died 3.90 times more than women. If we don't make a change today, we'll definitely pay the price tomorrow.
Personally feel like anything in my life is incomplete. I will say it's probably factors there's left out that I don't know of, but it's a reason I probably don't know of them right now. But I would say everybody coming together is something that I don't have around me, like everybody together, not even as like family and friends, more so as a community and family and friends, because it takes you having family and friends in order to build a village.
Great day, my beautiful people. My name is Aisha Hayes, and I am the founder of Speak. Today, I will be presenting to you something that is so sacred to me. My whole life has been built upon mental health as it relates to mental health difficulties, as it relates to mental health positivity, everything that mental health has to deal with. Today, I want to showcase something beautiful. I don't want to just showcase suicide, but I want to showcase the beauty in Jackson, Mississippi. I want to showcase the emotional stages of our young people right here in our city. For all those watching in different states, different countries, I hope that you can take a lot from these interviews. I hope that this documentary shows you that you aren't alone, that you aren't the only one feeling those same emotions that our young people right here are feeling. You are important. I love you. I believe in you. And your life is precious. I want to take you all on an adventure as it relates to mental health, but also relates to just us being human. A lot of times we put so much emphasis on things that we cannot see. A lot of times there are so many voids in between our young people and our young adults and our adults, our therapists, our advisors, our mentors, our coaches. Because a lot of times we don't understand each other. We're not connecting to each other. And in this moment in time, I want you all to connect to each other. I want you all to connect to these people on these interviews. If anyone needs any assistance, any help, if you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling a void or anything related to suicide, depression, anxiety, etc., as it relates to mental health, please use this number and call the hotline. Now, let the show begin. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. So before we get started, I want you to introduce yourself. State your name, state your pronouns, and if you would like, you can also state the gender that you classify yourself as.
My name is Lauren Jefferson, but I go by Woosie sometimes. I am a female, and that's about it.
All right, my girl Woo. So first question, and I want you to know that if you feel uncomfortable anytime answering any of these questions, you can say pass. I don't want you to feel obligated to answer any question that you may feel like you don't know. Also, anytime where you feel like you don't want to generalize something, you can make I statements saying, for example, I feel like, or if you want to make a general statement, just feeling like something that you see in everyday life, you can say in society, etc. Do you feel like your life is incomplete? Meaning that you feel as though something is missing that affects your mental health.
I don't personally feel like anything in my life is incomplete. I will say it's probably factors that's left out that I don't know of, but it's a reason I probably don't know of them right now.
What would bring you joy? Something you don't have, and why?
Money. But I would say, everybody coming together is something that I don't have around me. Like everybody together, not even as like family and friends, more so as a community and family and friends, because it take you having family and friends in order to build a village. So yes,
Exactly.
people
I
coming
definitely
together.
agree to that.
That's incomplete. Having love, like
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. I feel like a lot of young people, they really grasp the attention of having somebody to love them
yeah,
and to see them.
they don't really have it. So
Right, right.
it's incomplete
It's
in the
incomplete.
world in general, in society.
So, who are the people that inspire you? And if you don't want to think about a group of people, who is a person or individual, more so who inspires you?
Pass.
Nobody inspires you, and it's okay. Like I said, you don't
I
have
don't
to answer
know.
the question. It was a joke. It was a joke.
I don't know though, for real.
And sometimes I feel like sometimes you can inspire yourself.
Yeah,
Like as I get old, I'm like, I inspire me.
cause yeah, it's like I look up to people. I see people, and I take leeway or advice from what they do. But people who really like inspire me, oh, everybody inspire me. People who work hard, those people inspire me to want to work harder, like be consistent. So hard workers inspire me.
I definitely agree to that. I love that answer. What are your thoughts on mental health?
I feel like mental health isn't talked about or treated and serious enough as people should take it, because a lot of people deal with mental health and people don't know it. And some people don't even know what mental health is, dealing with maybe depression. Suicide is a part of being mentally ill, because you got to be, it's something mentally wrong with you to want to give you the verse to want to kill yourself in general, because you're tired of dealing with probably depression, stress, grief, like you never know. So yes.
I definitely agree with that. And through my journey of advocating, one thing that I learned from my advisors is that when we refer to mental health and we talk about things that relate to mental health, one thing she said to me was that let's try not to use mental illness because some people feel so judged by it. And a key word that she used to tell me was like mental challenges and stuff like that. And I'm actually glad you stated that on the interview, because a lot of times, like I said, even myself, I didn't understand how my words could affect someone through a conversation. And I'm just like, I didn't think that was a problem, but you never know how the next person feels
or what's going on in their head.
Right, and that statement just bounces back to what we talk about love and attention and how people see us. So that was really just like a learning experience for ones who are watching, and also just the fact of be careful what you say and how you say it.
For sure.
So how does mental health affect your life?
In society, because I wouldn't say me personally, I have went through mental health, but I didn't say it affected me. It probably affected me in a way of me not wanting to be around people to really figure out what was wrong with me. So I would say like detachment, separation. It made me want to be alone, like really, who are you? Like who was Lucy? Like I wanted to see exactly who I was. So it probably did make me feel distant from maybe my peers or even family too. But I could say it probably made me detached. I was detached from a lot of stuff, like not wanting to go places, and yes, so it did affect me. So it did.
So you would say like your experience with mental health would be the depression stage, the
Yeah.
stage where you feel like you want to go, like you said, detachment, separation.
Yeah. And I want to do anything. Like, I record videos, I do podcasts, YouTube, but I have fell off in the last couple months only because I was really trying to find my true calling. Do I really want to do video? Because I'm like, am I a video girl or is it for me? When in reality, if it's for me, it's going to come and the camera keep coming and people, it's just going places, hearing people say, oh, I seen your videos on Instagram, and I rarely have like videos on any platform because like I delete when I'm going through stuff. So it's like I delete when I feel like, oh, it ain't getting enough views or I'm trying to rush it. So it's like slowing down, being patient, and being able to accept the small views or the small likes that I do get. So it's gonna grow. So I gotta be patient with time. Be patient.
I 100% agree. And this question, you all, is off the range of questions, but I feel like it's so important to ask you this as an influencer. And so, as an influencer, do you feel like it's hard to box out your emotions? Meaning that people look at you, people are inspired by you. When people see you, they see the excited you, they see the happy woo, they see all the good things about you. But everything that's going on inside that you're hiding, you're trying to escape from through that excitement, through talking to people. So do you feel like it's hard doing that as an influencer?
I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's like challenging because it's like I am this way in front of you all and I'm this way in general, but it's like when I'm in front of you all, the camera, of course I'm gonna be trying to put on an act like this is me now, but in reality sometimes it be hard to mask how I feel and record behind the camera because the videos I recently posted, it's just me personally on my page. I have seen that the energy that I brought at the beginning is not there because I was just recording, trying to go through the depression or go through what I was going through. I'm glad I did that because I knew I could fight through it, but it's like I can tell when I'm going through something, and y'all probably can't tell, but it's like, yeah, I can tell when I'm going through something on video, and it is kind of hard to mask it on videos when I want to be bubbly, but it's like I can't because my energy down here, but I'm up here, it just be everywhere, like, oh, your mind is crazy.
It's going everywhere. Exactly.
Your mind be racing,
yeah,
bro.
it does that. Especially when you, like you said, you have the camera on you.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to, and I don't want to say be somebody you're not for people, but you're trying to
keep up the image.
Yeah, keep up the image that people see, and it's like
you do try to be emotional. It's like, oh, now you a weak, da da da, or you in your feelings. It's like, no, I'm not in my feelings. I have feelings just like you all, but because I'm this happy-go-lucky person, y'all don't think I'm supposed to express those feelings, or if something upset me, you know, they don't want you to express it. They just want you to suck it up. How about your day? So
I feel like it's like the rules of expectations of society.
So
I think I'm gonna write a book about that, rules of expectations on society.
I be lost, confused.
100%. So I feel like it's so important leading into this question. Do you make time for self-care?
I haven't in the past, no. Still haven't now because I'm not finna lie like I have now, but it's like I've been better with looking at myself because for so long I had puffballs in my head. Like I just got this done a couple weeks ago because I wanted to feel pretty again. I wanted to feel me, and I was tired of wearing them puffballs, throwing on them wigs. So I'm like, I want to do something different. So I sacrificed the little stuff I did had and got my braids done. And it made me reconnect with something that happened in the past too. So it was like a whole, I guess God called it at the right time. So it was a whole mashing that happened with everything. So
yeah,
yes, I don't take time for self-care, but I'm about to start. I'm telling you that now, like putting more into me, working out, eating better. I just feel like it's good things coming for me, but I have to do it on my part so I can see the end goal, you know?
100%. Yeah, you gotta put more into yourself, and I really think it's so important with us both being on this platform, you know, talking about the truth in ourselves, like how we don't take time for healthcare, because I feel like a lot of people, they be like, well, you know, I do this and I do that, but it's like going back to escaping.
I got my nails for my birthday. That was in May. It's September, so
yeah,
it's like
it's been a minute.
Look at my toes; they ain't even polished. So yeah, self-care it's down. It's down right now.
100% that. But we want to get that self-care to 100% though. We want to get that self-care to 100%.
But you gotta realize too, self-care ain't just doing your hair, doing it. It's really maybe tuning into yourself or understanding what yourself is. Like,
yeah, definitely understanding your energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even with myself, I was just talking to myself, and I was talking to God, and I was like, God, am I the problem?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a part of self-care because self-reflection is so important.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And self-observation, and also just observation of your environment.
Yes.
Looking to see like, okay, am I the problem, or am I the problem because
it's
the stuff around me making me the problem? Because a lot of times we put ourselves in situations and it makes us become just like them or just like that.
But I feel that's a mind thing. Like I feel like you want to do something or want to see better in whoever them is, but it's like you still got to put you first regardless. So
Yep, putting you first is definitely important. It's definitely important. So you all heard it from Woo. Put yourself first.
Period. Don't put that burger before you. Put you first.
And since we're talking about putting you first, Woo, it's like you're trying to read my mind. Are you living your authentic truth? Because we're talking about putting you first. Are you living your authentic truth?
At first, I wasn't.
I'm
not gonna lie to nobody on camera. Like, at first, I wasn't, because it took me a lot of finding myself. Like, if people ask you, I keep saying I'm finding myself, and that's because that version of me, I thought it was me, but it wasn't. It was somebody that I was around. Like she said, the people around you could divert how you think or how you feel about things to make you not want to do what you was already head on for in the first place. So yeah, you said putting me first. Yeah,
that was a long pause.
Yeah,
that was 8. But you know, I think it's so important as well with you being able to discuss that, because that takes a lot. You know, that takes a lot of courage to get on here and just tell yourself and say it out loud. Like, I have not been being myself, my true self.
Praying to God, God, please allow me to be me, the person you call me to be. Like, that's been in my daily prayers for a minute now. So now I do feel myself driving and going to the place I'm supposed to be, so I'm able to be myself. Because I have been able to even feel better waking up in the morning, like thanking God, waking up. Like, it's just the little things of God. I know you working. I'm just gonna be patient with you. So it's like now I'm getting into being my true authentic self and hanging around, being around people who will allow that too. Like Aisha, she do the same thing I do. So it's like, why not be, even if we ain't friends, which we are, but even if we wasn't friends, we could be business partners and link up. We stay in the same town, city, whatever y'all call it, where you from. But yeah, like being around people who doing the same as you, so you all can help each other build, bring out each other's true, authentic self. So
right,
ain't nobody hate. We trying to do the same thing.
Right. And do you think, like, even if somebody's like you, because I've met a lot of people who do some of the same things that I do, that may be even better than me.
Yes.
That may be somebody I can learn from as a coach.
Yes.
Do you feel like if a person is not genuine with that ability to be your business partner, to work with you, do you feel like a lack of social equity would apply to that relationship?
With some people, I'm not gonna lie, me personally, if you do a platform, say we both do the platform, I'm trying to work with you trying to work with me. Yes, people have whatever they got going on in their life, but if I see you're not your true self when I'm around you, if that makes sense. So it's like, yeah, that's social equity. I will look at your whole page different. I won't even look at you as, say, if you called yourself the real doo-doo boo-boo, I won't look at you like that. I look at you as real dookie. Like, you just never know, for real. Like, your first impression is everything. First impression is everything. And if you leave a bad taste in my mouth, it's staying there forever. Call it what you want, but you ain't finna.
Heard.
I bet the people like, you looking cross-eyed? I'm looking at everything.
And I feel like this next question is so important. When it comes to suicide prevention and suicide awareness and mental health awareness, the suicide mortality rate in Mississippi is 16.2%, meaning that we've had approximately 480 deaths due to suicide. In your opinion, Why do you think that is so?
People not being able to talk and people not feeling like they have the leeway to talk to anybody. Some people may feel alone, feel abandoned, so they feel like killing themselves is the best option. They don't have nobody to talk to. It really just be talking, or they feel alone. Most time people kill themselves because they feel alone or they've done something that they know they wasn't supposed to do, and now they don't want to face the consequences. So it be a lot to everything.
Yeah. So saying all of that, do you think that young people have a strong support system? And why or why not?
Me personally, if they did, they wouldn't have the verge of killing themselves. And sometimes it don't be them killing themselves because they don't have a strong support structure. It could be because they don't like how their parents are parenting them or disciplining them. Some kids don't like to be told what to do, so they'll feel like their parent mean, and that just drives them to want to do crazy stuff. Or it could be a fact where the parents not showing them enough attention, and when they get to school or out in public, they see everybody else parents attentive to them, loving on them, but when he get home or when they get home, they parents just cooped up in their room or they never at home with them. So it's maybe like alone, people being alone.
Yeah. And a lot of times being alone can put you in so many dark spaces, especially when you are having those mental challenges. And you feel like you have nobody to vent to and you can't cope with what you're going through.
Yes.
So do you think that the relationships in your life affect the kind of person you are? And I feel like we maybe have answered that question, but if you have a different response, you can go ahead and answer it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Not now. My relationships in my life don't affect the person I am, but at first, yeah, the relationships I had did affect the type of person I was, because some stuff I know I wasn't going to do or would have never done if I wasn't around certain people, or you just never know. So yeah, but now, no, I'm really boundaries firm. It's like now that you know,
power to the firmness.
Yes, like
power to the firmness.
You grow once you know, and you know when you grow.
Hey.
You grow once you know,
yeah.
And you know when you grow.
Okay. Hey, I love that. We're gonna bring awareness to this, all right? And so I want to ask a counter question to that. So do you feel like the relationships that you have, are they good or bad? And then when we think about good or bad, like what is the definition of a good or bad relationship?
Because good could be bad and bad
right, bad could be good. So for you in your life, what is those relationships looking like? Because you said like now, I don't feel like they affect my life. Like, do you feel like they are positive or do you feel like they're negative? What is that energy? And that's why I asked the good and bad, because I want to refer back to energy. What is that energy like? Because energy, that's something we can prove. That's something we can feel. What is that energy like with those relationships?
It's like I've been at a point where I haven't been able to even want to feel that energy, because I've been pouring into me or trying to find me. So it's like the people that's around, yes, I haven't felt negative vibes, or if it has been negative, you've been shielding it up in the mask and tightening it up in the back of your booty hole. But yeah, it's been, the energy now is positive. Starting from the month of August, it started gradually being positive with even my work environment, people I hang around, or just in general. Like from August, I know it's been elevating and elevating.
And you would say August of this year, 2023?
Correct. August last year, I was a whole nother.
And I love to hear that, because that shows growth in ourselves. That shows growth in maturity, and that just shows growth even in our relationships. That you were able to observe those things that were affecting you, and you didn't like it, you didn't agree with it, so you made changes. That's important. It's important that we make changes to things that we see fit.
Yes. And sometimes you don't even have to make a change. You just have to do what's best for you. So that is like making change. So
right. I guess and you're right. That is like making change. It definitely is.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's important to monitor trends of suicide amongst specific sex, genders, ethnicities, etc., and its ongoing impact on young people? And so before you answer this question, I want you to think about specific sex as it relates to 2023. We have our queer genders. We have our female You want to pass? Okay, you want to pass the whole question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna pass the whole question. Like I said, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable on this
Because when it
interview at
gets
all.
stuff like that, not right now.
Yeah.
Because I need to get more educated on it before I can talk about it. That's the only thing. So.
Hey, I respect it, and that's definitely what this interview is about. Oh,
damn! You should have slowed that sucker down, don't you think, Aisha?
to this, wait, we gotta bring awareness to these curves as well.
Up in Jackson, because we international.
Welcome to Jackson.
Well, welcome to Jackson. Well, if you drive through the pothole, your car gonna say, "Do."
You gotta bring awareness to these situations, y'all. Gotta bring awareness. I'm so grateful to have you on this interview. Your presence was definitely welcome. And I love your energy. I really believe that I really believe that the aspect that you showed on here today will inspire so many young people, because I think a lot of times when it refers to mental health, people think that you have to talk about it in such a negative way or a just low spirit.
Go to the situation head on, like,
right. And you were so joyful, and I think that's important, because people can actually feel that energy, and they can see that although as you talk and related to things that you go through, you are showing here today that life will go on.
Period.
And that is what we are bringing awareness to. We want young people and even young adults to understand that this is not the end. We want to bring awareness to suicide. We want to commit to suicide prevention, and we want to educate young people continuously on what mental health is, what it stands for, what suicide is, what it stands for, because all things related to mental health, even mental health itself, is not negative. And we're going to stop putting this stigma on mental health like it's negative. Mental health is self-care. Mental health is therapy. Mental health is love. Mental health is venting. Mental health is coping.
Preach. Ah!
Hallelujah.
Say it, sister.
Say it, sister.
Period.
Thank you so much again, Woo, for this interview.
Follow me.
Go ahead and tell them where to follow you, Woo. Special shout out to the influencer.
Me at The Life of Woo. That's THEE. THEE Life of Woo on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is just Life of Woo. You can follow me on Facebook at The Life of Woo too, but my audience, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Hey. So yeah, do that video dropping soon, period. And yeah, stay tuned.
That's it for today. Thank you.
See you later.
Summer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So before we get started with this interview, I do want you to introduce yourself, state your name. You can also state a nickname, state your pronouns, and anything else that relates to who you are.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Summer, but I go by So. I'm just Summer.
All right, I love that. So we're going to go ahead and get into these questions. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel like your life is incomplete?
Yeah, I feel like it's certain things I haven't quite yet accomplished.
And when you say that, do you feel like these are some things that may be missing?
Yeah, I feel like my job isn't yet done. I feel like I have a lot of things and messages to spread.
Can you give us an example of your job as it relates to what task that you are trying to complete, and what message are you trying to give, and what influence are you trying to brand or portray to your audience?
The influence that I'm trying to give, I'm trying to really just broadcast and show that no matter what you look like, who you are, that you can accomplish all great things. That everything just comes with time, patience, and consistency. And that's really the message I just want to spread.
That's beautiful. And do you feel like that these things, however, that they are affecting your that they are incomplete, excuse me, do you feel like that they affect your mental health? Do you feel like because you know that you have some things that are incomplete and some things are missing, do you feel like that they affect your mental health?
Yeah, when you know that you're full of passion and potential, it can become frustrating when it feels like you're not putting in enough work, or like that the work that you're putting in is not giving you the results that you need yet. But when you stay consistent and you have the confidence in knowing that you can be the best you, then everything will eventually fall into place.
100% agree. 100% agree. I really do feel like, when you put that in perspective, things will fall in place, and they shall fall in place. What would you say brings you joy? Something that you don't have, and why?
What brings me joy that I do not have and why? I feel like what brings me joy is really being able to provide joy to other people. Like I am a barber, so when my client gets out of the chair and their whole entire mood has changed and it seems like they're having a brighter and better day, that does bring me joy. But where I feel like I do not have is being able to bring joy to the youth and being able to show them like, everything's possible.
I love that answer. I really do, Summer. So when it comes to your personal growth and your development, where do you want to focus your energy and attention?
As far as my personal growth, I still have a lot of things like as far like mentally, like your mental health is one of the biggest things because that's just your mentality. Your mentality and the way that you perceive things, they can affect how you see yourself and then your confidence and things of that nature. So I feel like that's mostly what I'm working on as far as having that confidence, knowing that I am a powerful being and that I am able of great things.
I mean, that you gotta have that confidence, and I think it's so important that in this interview and just through this documentary that we showcase that. We showcase the importance and the vitality of people understanding their worth and knowing who they are in that. I think that's beautiful. So, saying all this, what are your thoughts on mental health?
I feel like mental health is definitely one of the most important things. Yeah, it is one of the most important things, and I feel like it's not taken very seriously because as we evolve more as a society, it does become more important. But before, people, it was more like shunned upon. But now I feel like mental health, you have to take it serious because that's your mentality. Like if you do not add joy to your life, it's gonna always seem dark. But really, it's just how you perceive it.
Right, right. Because perception is everything. And I think when we talk about mental health, as I just did the interview with Woo, we were just talking about like how do we visualize things, how do we see ourselves, and the spaces and the environments that we have ourselves in, they can dictate those things. They can dictate how we look at ourselves. And even, when we're in our own dark spaces, that can dictate how we view ourselves and how we self-reflect. So I think that is definitely spot on, Summer. I definitely believe that is spot on. So in your opinion, do you believe that old habits need to be broken in order for you to move forward? Why or why not?
Most definitely. Because if you continue to do the same thing over and over again and it's not allowing you to get anywhere, then that means that it's not good for you. One of the most common sayings is insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. So it's like, what's the point of steady allowing that to be part of your life if it's not making you any more productive or making you feel like, if it's not allowing you to feel good about yourself, if it's not helping you, then yeah, you have to let it go because that's the only way you can grow.
So I want to quote you on what you just said. You said if it's not allowing you to grow, you need to let it go. And so have you, and this is like a self-reflection question, have you been in a point of your life currently where have you been in a situation where you had to let it go because you weren't growing, and you seen the effect that situation had on you? And how did you handle it?
Most definitely. Like, I done had time periods where it's like, I'm like, I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let it go. But it's just like, the more I pray on it and the more that I see that it's not allowing me to change or it's not bringing me happiness, then it's time to let it go. Because what's the point of steady holding on to something that's not making you a better person? You have to let things go that are not good for you, whether that's people, whether that's habits, whatever it is that's not bringing you positivity and joy within your life, you have to let it go.
Spot on, Summer, spot on. And I 100% agree with you because I think the hardest thing for human beings as a whole when we talk about letting things go is letting it go. Because we think about history, we think about love, we think about moments, we think about the comfortability, a situation or a person or anything else as it relates to us makes us feel and how we are so attached to it. But when something is continuously hindering you from growing and from that success, from the greatest things that you desire, you have to let it go. I really believe that was beautiful, Summer. Summer, do you believe that you are living your authentic truth?
Yeah, yeah. Like
What does that look like for you, Summer? Tell us.
being able to live within your authentic truth.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I say that is when I was younger, I feel like the person who I'm slowly becoming, that's who I dreamt of being when I was younger. So when I look in the mirror, I am proud and grateful of all things that I have accomplished, not just from the way that I look, but things I have accomplished, like being a licensed barber, being able to put myself through school by myself, overcoming certain things myself. Like at one point in time, I did feel like it was over with. I had nothing more to give. But once I realized like my passion and that I'm more valuable alive than dead, then that's when I was like, okay, we doing something. So yeah, I feel like now I'm really living within my truth because all I want to do is keep living and growing and just become better and better each day.
I love that. Now I want to follow back on something you said. You said that you felt like you weren't doing enough. You felt like that your life was over. In what moment that you were experienced in life where you that made you feel like that? Like what were you going through that made you feel like life was over? Because you said you did a lot of things on your own. And Summer, if you don't mind disclosing this information, you are very young, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Just turned 21.
So you just turned 21, and so how long does it take to get your barber license on an average?
On an average year to year and a half.
So a year and a half, and so that means you had to go through this class around the age of 19, 20, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that means you were just fresh out of high school, correct?
More or less. Yeah.
More or less. Okay. I love that answer. So, and just to say all of this to say that you were still a young adolescent trying to understand life, trying to just to get a feel of what life was. And so and to talk about these challenges that you face, you know what I'm saying? If you don't mind getting in depth with those challenges, get a little bit in depth with those challenges that you face and then talk about how you overcame them. Because I think it will be so reflective for young people watching this documentary to understand that although we go through things in life, that does not define who we are and that does not define our future. So I'm going to give you the floor, Summer, so you can go in depth on those situations.
Honestly, like you said, I did not understand life. Like the way that I was perceiving it, it was like I was so within the moment of what I was doing. Like during the time where I felt like giving up and all that, it was during the time when I was in high school. My cousin had just passed. I wasn't doing the best in school. I knew that school was not for me, but around that time, they make it seem like if you're not an A and B student, then you just bottom of the barrel. But really, it's just I realized it was like after I graduated, I realized that I have a deeper passion. My passion is to help others and to be able to just show like you can overcome everything. And the way that I was able to overcome that, I changed my mentality. It was like that's just like once you change a light bulb in a room. If the light bulb is broken, what's the point of steady keeping it in? So once you change it, the room becomes brighter. That's just like with your mentality. If your mentality is bad, get rid of it. Start figuring out what you really have passion for, what your heart is really into, and what makes you want to be, what will bring you joy, what will bring you happiness. And once you figure that out, I'm telling you, it's just like your room gets way brighter. And everything is just, it all comes with time though. Do not rush it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. Enjoy what it takes to become you. And that's what will allow you to appreciate who you are way more. That's what allowed me to be able to smile the way that I do now. I didn't used to be able to wake up and be happy, but now I am.
I love that. And everything you said was so insightful. And Summer, you have a beautiful smile. And just to see you standing here today, proud, ambitious, encouraged, you are going to motivate, you are going to inspire, and you are going to influence so many young people. So without a shadow of a doubt, I want to proclaim and I want to announce to you that you will do that. And so I want to ask you a question right now in this interview. What is something you would say to a fellow peer, associate, friend, family member who would be going through mental challenges And I don't want to say that they are on the aspect of committing suicide, but they've had these conversations with you. They may not have said, I want to kill myself, but they may have said things like, I'm not feeling myself. I don't know why I'm here. You being a friend, how could you be there for that person? And what does being there for that person look like?
Honestly, when it comes to things like that, like you said, you have to be able to speak up. That's number one. That's the only way anybody could be able to help you, is if you speak up and you express to everybody the way that you're well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but once you express how you feel and the things that you are battling, I promise the challenges will become way, way easier. That's number one. Number two, surround yourself by people who inspire to be better and want you to be better within yourself. And then as time comes along, once you not only have that guidance, but you have that inspiration, and you have people around you that won't let you fail, it'll become way easier. Because when you surround yourself by people who just want to chill and want to
So many interruptions.
when you surround yourself by people who mean you know well, then it'll always feel like you dwelling on the past and things of that nature. But once you realize that there is more to life than just what you're currently going through and your environment, then everything will be way easier. Everything will be way better.
That was so insightful. I love those answers, Summer. And I really do feel like that everything you're saying is gonna reach somebody. And for somebody who is going through something right now, always remember that there is a hotline that you can call. There is somebody you can talk to. Never go unanswered. Summer, before I allow you to leave this interview today, I want to ask you one more question. And remember, at any time that you feel uncomfortable, you do not have to answer this question.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important to monitor trends of suicide amongst specific sex, genders, ethnicities, Lord, I cannot say that word right, you all, etc., and its ongoing impact on young people? And so, before you answer this question, I want you to think about, if you would like to answer this question, think about the specific sex as it relates to queer, bisexual, heterosexual, etc., ethnicities. Lord, I cannot say the word, you all. As it relates to black, Hispanic, white, etc. Like, think about all those different factors, and think about, like as I stated, the trends of suicide amongst these people and its ongoing impact on young people. So we're thinking about young people and all these different colors, shades, body forms, and all that great stuff. Why do you think it's important that we monitor trends of suicide with them? Now, as I stated, you don't have to answer this question if it is uncomfortable. But if you would like to give input, you may answer.
Honestly, the people that I would like to address first are black men. I feel like this is a category of people who are commonly overlooked. But at the same time, these are some of the people who struggle with life the most. From not only feeling like they have to know everything, having to provide for everything, police, amongst of everything else that they just have to deal with. And I feel like a lot of times men are taught, you don't cry, you got to suck it up, you got to keep pushing, you have to be this strong man. But it's okay to cry. It's okay to let people know how you feel. It's okay to open up and to allow people inside your life. Like, you do not have to be strong all the time. Sometimes people need a shoulder, and it's okay to allow yourself to lean on the other people's shoulders. But then as far as the LGBT community, well, yeah, it's gonna be okay. Like, whether you're coming out, whether you're trying to figure out who you are, whether you're trying to figure out where your place is in life, it's going to be okay. Like, it's only momentarily. And stop allowing yourself to care about what other people feel and think about you, because they're going to only know a piece of you. But you are the only people. You are the only person who truly knows your story, truly knows your worth, and truly knows what you were going through. So fight through it and continue to just be you and be a blessing while you are on this earth. You have a purpose, and just continue to live life. Do not allow negative thoughts to get over your mentality. You have to be strong. You have to keep fighting.
Some of those were some beautiful responses. And I really do believe, as I stated before, that you are going to reach somebody. Somebody who's watching this documentary, somebody who may be going through something tragic in their life right now, somebody who may have lost a parent, somebody who may be in a foster home. Our kids need us. Our youth need us. Our young adults need us. And we must speak up and we must speak out. And you did just that. I want to thank you so much again for volunteering to be on this interview today. Your presence was definitely welcome today. It was.
It was an honor to be here, truthfully, from the bottom of my heart. All right.
And I thank you so much. And it was great meeting you too, Summer. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Hello, Diamond. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Diamond, you don't sound like you're doing great. I need a little more energy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad you're doing good. I love the fit, Dirty Heart. Shout out to Dirty Heart. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
And the reason I wanted to kind of get you a little more hype on your interview is because you are wearing a Black-owned brand. So shout out to Black-owned brand. Shout out to us repping our Black-owned brand. I just had to put that out there. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
But let's digress. So I want you to introduce yourself. I'm sorry, I had to introduce her, you all. Say your name. You can say a nickname as well. You can also give your pronouns and anything else related to who you are.
My name is Diamond. I go by D mostly. Pronouns she, her. You know, whatever you want to call me. It's me. I'm me. You know, rock star.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the interview. Do you feel like your life is incomplete? Meaning that you feel as though something is missing that affects your mental health.
I wouldn't say incomplete, but I'm definitely not finished with, you know, what my purpose is, what my reasoning is, you know, what I want to do in my life. I'm definitely not done with it. So
okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So with those answers, what would you say brings you joy? Something that you don't have, and why?
Something that brings me joy.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, being the humble person I am, I like making other people happy. I like seeing others around me having fun, being happy. And if I can add to that in any kind of way, I'm gonna do it. So whatever the case may be, I love seeing other people happy. So that brings me joy.
I love the fact that you love seeing people happy. I think that people who care more about other people, I feel like that's like a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes you can care so much about other people that we kind of like put less into ourselves.
Mm.
But on the other side of that, like caring so much about other people allows us and allows other people to see all the great qualities that they have about themselves. So I think that is something that's so great about you, that you do love to see other people happy. So when it comes to you, Summer, Diamond, what about your personal growth and your development that you want to focus on, that you want to put a lot more attention on?
Honestly, me being a more outspoken person, growing up, I've always been shy, always been in the back of the classroom, never wanted to be bothered, never wanted to bother other people. But with the type of lifestyle that I'm living now, I have to be more outspoken, and I want to be, you know, I'm kind of driven to be more outspoken, but I still have those shy tendencies. So I'm working on myself in that aspect of being a people person, you know, communicating with others, not getting my friends to do it for me, type stuff like that. So yeah.
Wow, and that's so amazing that you were able today to speak out on that, because there are so many young people with those same aspirations. You know, they grew up shy, they grew up probably not very social with people, and you know, depending on their career choice or depending on what field they may be going in, or just depending on who they want to be as a person as they get older, they feel like they need to be more social.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you were able to come on this platform today and be able to say that on this documentary, I feel like it's going to reach so many young people who have those same qualities as you, who feel the same way as you, who has that same personality as you, and who do aspire as well to be more social and you know, be more outgoing. So thank you for sharing that. When it comes to mental health, Diamond, tell me some of your thoughts on that.
Mental health is very important. I will say that a lot of people put other things above mental health, and mental health is kind of downplayed. Like, oh, you just crazy, you just overthinking it. when, you know, overthinking is a, you know, what's it called, like a symptom of something, like people with anxiety. You know, I have anxiety. I overthink all the time. So I think it should be put more in the forefront. People should take it more serious. Yeah, it should just be put, you know, out there. Need more research on it, more people looking into it, more people taking it serious, because mental health matters. Yeah.
I love those answers. And Diamond, I feel like it's so important that we do understand, like what you said, when it comes to overthinking. That is like a anxiety, what is the word that I want to use? Like an effect of anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like when we put ourselves in a position where we're thinking about all the bad things that could happen, or worrying so much, that's because our anxiety is built up so much. And so if you don't mind sharing today, for the people watching, and the people who will watch, how do you deal with your anxiety?
Honestly, I just take a deep breath. Sometimes I count to 10 in my head just to, you know, calm down my nerves, get myself together, and then just tell myself, you know, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to push through it. Nothing is really going to happen. You know, like, I don't let the negative thoughts get in the way. I didn't want her to say negative thoughts, because sometimes, you know, overthinking is not always negative.
Right.
But, you know, I don't let the thoughts that are trying to overcome what I'm trying to do take over me. So I just calm myself down, get myself together, and I just tell myself, just go ahead and do it. Because once you get in there, you stuck. You in there. You got to do it. You got to finish it. So, yeah, just...
That was so insightful, Diamond. And I think it's so important how we focus a lot on our verbal language. And the reason that I wanted to talk about that, because what you just did was so amazing. You talked about how you didn't want to say that overthinking is always negative. A lot of times we put so many stigmas on mental health, and it portrays a negative idea of what mental health is. And like you said, a lot of times overthinking isn't always negative. A lot of times it's just you putting a thought in your mind too hard, or you trying to consume something that is really less than what it is, but you're making a little bit more. So I think that verbal language is so important to our young people watching this documentary. And I think it's going to really make them be more insightful when they're having these conversations with family and friends, and also just talking to peers and any other professionals. Diamond, I want to ask you, do you think that you make time for self-care for yourself?
Now that I'm older, I do. I'm 21, about to be 22, and it took me a long time to realize that self-care is actually really important. Just even if it's as simple as, you know, taking a 5-minute walk down your neighborhood once a day, you know, clearing your mind, or, you know, jogging down the street, you know, exercise in 10 minutes, you know, just something that's going to benefit you later on in your day, even if it's just that one day out of the whole week. You know, start somewhere and then progress later on. You know, just do something, take time out for yourself. It's a skincare, workout, talking to yourself in the mirror to pump yourself up before you go to work or something, you know, anything like that. Just do it. You'll be good.
Now, Diamond, you talked a lot about exercise. You talked a lot about working out. As physical health and physical wellness relates to mental health, how do you feel like our physical wellness affects our mental health? Do you feel like that has I don't want to say a similarity, that's not the right word, but do you feel like it has a connection to our mental health? Like, you know, if our physical health isn't good, then our mental health won't be good. But if our physical health is well, then our mental health will be well. Do you feel like they play a compatible connection? Because sometimes you can be unhealthy physically but have a great mental health. Sometimes you can be healthy mentally but have a poor physical health. What is your opinion on that aspect?
I'm glad you asked me that, because I've been talking about that lately with a lot of people.
Okay.
I actually feel like mental health and physical health play a major role with each other. Because recently, I'm not going to say too much, but my physical health, I have been having, you know, some problems with it, and it's been because of my mental health. Just for me, for an example, me not being where I needed to be mentally caused me not to take care of myself physically. So you know, it's a balance. You have to be good up here to take care of this. You know, everything starts in the brain. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if you're
yes.
not good up here, how can you take care of the rest? You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And everything you said was so spot on. And I love the fact how you used I statements. You stated that for me, for example, I believe that it's so important that us as young people, us as young adults, and us as people and human beings in general, that we don't generalize everything, that we make statements as referring to ourselves and as to society. I think that that is a lesson that people can take as they watch this documentary. So thank you for sharing that with us today, Diamond. Diamond, do you feel like the person you are today is your authentic self? Do you feel like that you are living in your authentic truth?
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I want you to be honest. I want you to be very
Not
honest.
not fully, but I am progressing, and I love that for me. I'm progressing. I see it a little bit more every day because the person I was maybe a year and a half ago, I'm not that person now, and I've taken a lot of risk for myself, good risk,
Yeah.
for myself, and just choosing myself has been the best choice I could have made. You know, well, that I did make, choosing myself. So, yeah.
And so saying all that, I feel like we talk so much about our physical health. We talk so much heavily about how our physical health affects our mental health. And you talked about a lot about you just progressing your life as a whole. Do you feel like your life has purpose?
I do. I went through a time period where I felt like it didn't, but I had the right people in my corner, the right friends, the right family members, the right strangers at some points. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is amazing, and I love how you quoted the fact that you had the right people in your corner. I feel like as though a lot of young people, as we relate to today's time in 2023, especially after COVID-19 happened, a lot of young people felt that they didn't have anyone in their corner. And for you to be a young adult at the age of 21, going on to age 22, to still say that you have those people in your corner, it just shows that that we are working on a change. You know, there's still things to be done, but with one person giving that this example and showcasing that, you know, it is important to have people in your life, and for the people who need to be in your life, telling them like, hey, it's okay to be in this person's life, and these people need you. You know, people, we need people.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't need people, we would be the only person on the planet. You know, so I think that is so important. So Diamond, if you didn't know, the suicide mortality rate in Mississippi is 16.2%, meaning we've had approximately 480 deaths due to suicide. Why do you think this is that?
I feel like people don't have the right resources, and really the society we live in, we aren't offered the, I won't say the right resources, but it's not put in front of us enough, and we don't feel comfortable. And I say we because I've been in that position myself before. So yeah, I didn't have the right. I didn't feel comfortable enough to just go and reach out and seek help with that type of thing. I felt like I would be judged, or people would, just all downplay it, stuff like that. So I tried to handle it on my own. But eventually, like I said, I got around the right people and the right,
Yeah.
to get myself together. But yeah.
And so I want to ask you a counter question. So as it relates to city, town, and state, and meaning where we are from in your community, do you feel like our people, not discriminating any race, gender, sex, etc., do you feel like our people, our young people, our young adults, our adults, do you feel like we lack these resources when it comes to home, when it comes to community, when it comes to surrounding areas?
I do believe we
And why do you feel like that? Give me a little insight of what you see that makes you that shapes that opinion, or well, I want to say perspective, that shapes that perspective that you have.
In our community, it starts at home. Our generation is much wiser than the one that came before us, and then the ones after us will be much wiser than us. But I say that to say it's a generational thing. Our parents didn't have it, so they couldn't give it to us, type thing like that. To give a scenario, When I say that it starts at home, you know, our people didn't have it, their people didn't have it, and their people didn't have it. So it's like I feel like it's more so up to us now that we are the adult community out here to push it forward for the kids under us, and even our peers that are our age. We need to push it forward a little bit more to be that and have those resources for ourselves, and good.
Yeah, I think everything you stated was just so influential because we should and we need to start bringing more awareness as it relates to mental health, suicide prevention, and other awareness related to mental health, also as in physical health. I think it's so important that we stand together as a community, as a people. I think it's so important that at home, as you stated, that we stand together as a family. You know, because a lot of times that's, like you said, that's where it starts. We feel like we don't have that family bond. We feel like our mother isn't there. We feel like our father isn't present. We feel like all of these other aspects of our environment has gone so dismissive. And then when we get in the real world, we feel like nobody is looking out for us there neither. So I definitely do think that by us doing this and starting to speak up and speak out, that we will change and we are going to make changes. Before I let you go today, Diamond, I want to ask you one last question. And remember, as we stated before, you don't have to answer any question that you feel uncomfortable. You may answer part of this question. You may just have an opinion, just on it, and you can state that this is just my opinion. I'm not a legal advisor or whatever. But as I stated, you don't have to answer this question. You can pass. But if you want to answer this question, you are most likely welcome to answer this question. Why do you think it's important to monitor trends of suicide amongst specific sex, genders, ethnicities, etc., and its ongoing impact on young people? And before you answer this question, I do want you to think about specifics as it relates to everything I've just stated. And so I'm going to give you time to either answer the question or take a pass.
Okay. I'm gonna pass.
You gonna pass?
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Before I end this documentary, I want everyone to understand who's watching that every young person who I've interviewed today, who will be in this documentary, they showed a different personality. Everyone had a different story. And also, what's mostly important that I wanted to talk about and discuss is that you don't have to feel pressure to do or say anything, especially as it relates to mental health. The reason that I stated that she was able to pass in this question is because I don't want her to feel like, hey, I was pressured to do this. That relates to mental health. That relates to her anxiety. That relates to depression. That relates to all those different feelings that we feel when we feel like we're obligated to do something that we don't feel comfortable doing. I want to thank you so much again, Diamond, for coming on this documentary today. I really do believe, and I know in my heart and my soul that you will be a reflection of that shy person who wants to be outgoing. You are that reflection of that young woman, of that young man who seeks a group or a community and they need that support for them. You are telling them that they are not alone, because so many people who commit suicide, so many people who have suicide attempts, that they feel like they're alone. And today we are showing on this platform that you are not alone. I want to also remind you all that if you are suffering, if you are having any mental challenges and you need help, please refer to the hotline. Please understand that we are not any therapists, we are not any legal counselors, and we cannot advise you to a psychologist. Thank you so much, Diamond, again for being in this documentary. Have a good day.
You too.
Today was such an amazing experience for me. Today I was able to network with young people who expressed all their different feelings, emotions, opinions, and perspectives on mental health. Today we did something that was so powerful in our community. And not as it just relates to Jackson, Mississippi, not as it just relates to Mississippi as a whole, but as it relates to the world, national. Suicide is something that has been going on for a long time. And it's something that we have not been talking about. And today, with my nonprofit organization, Speak, I felt that it was so important for me to showcase something, talking about suicide, talking about mental health. Suicide is the 11th death rate in our country. The 11th. So when we think about all the things people could be dying from, suicide is number 11. I want you all to think about all the suicide attempts, all the suicides that happen that go unnoticed, that go unheard. When I was graduating high school, my first year of college, I would have never thought that I would experience someone so close to me committing suicide. And although she wasn't a family member, someone who I had knew, and to know that something like that could happen so close to home, so close to me, it felt like something I would only hear about. And so at that moment, I knew that I had to say something. I had to speak up and I had to speak out. And so today, this documentary will showcase us speaking up, us speaking out. You are not alone. To every young person watching this video, to every young person listening to this documentary, I want you to understand, if there is anything you need, if you can't reach me, if you can't reach mama, if you can't reach daddy, find someone. Find a trusted adult, a trusted coach, mentor, somebody who you can lean on in times of distress, when you need to vent. I want to say here today that it is not the answer. But sometimes we feel like it is. I can sit here today and say I was a victim of depression of all sorts. I'm not ashamed. And I'm here to humbly stand to you that I defeated depression. I won. Because depression almost killed me. And I want you all to know that this is no scene. I'm not doing nothing for the camera. As I'm standing here making this video today, cars are passing by. I'm sure y'all hear it in the video. Because I'm getting so emotional talking about this topic, because this is something that's deep to me. I have a family who suffers from mental challenges as I speak today. So as I end in closing, I want to say this, and I want you all to leave with this. It's never too late to change your mind. To say no. I don't want to end like this. Because the day I changed my mind, I changed who I was. And the day I decided to speak out was the day I spoke up.
Speak up. Speak out.